This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
This is the Ramble. We go until midnight tonight, and we start off with a rerun. Stephen Kravitz. This is our weekly get-together with the one, the only, toothless, Stephen Kravitz. Are you taking care of? Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Alex.
Are you taking care of that tooth of yours?
You know, it's funny. Remember last week we talked about Clear Choice.
Oh, you went to Clear Choice to get an.
No, I didn't go yet. I'm going to see an oral surgeon on Friday.
Oh, okay.
And one of your listeners, or one of the viewers, IM'd me that said Clear Choice is a ripoff.
Oh, really?
Somebody who listened to our show, or your show.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I've never, heard of anybody that went to Clear Choice or whatever. But there's one part of it that gets me, is they say, yes, we can do it in less than 1 day. Wait a minute.
Right.
Hold on a second. Your gums, when you pull a tooth, it has to heal.
Right.
And then after it heals, they gotta drill into the bone. No, don't. You won't even notice it. They drill into your teeth. That's bone.
Right.
Okay. They drill into your bone and screw.
I don't like that either. I don't like them drilling into my teeth.
Listen, I'm gonna have a thing done to my eyes in a couple of weeks where they're gonna lift the lids and take care of the bottoms. I'll still have bags, but that idea bothers me because they don't even put me out. They just pump me full of Valium and stuff, so I'm happy.
Right.
But they're gonna numb the eyelids and everything. And I'm going, geez, and then
knock me out. Knock me out.
Then for 3 days, well, they say they almost knock you out. Like they didn't knock me out when they put the seeds in my prostate. They did.
Right.
They did what was called a spinal or whatever.
Right. Right.
And they made me
an epidermal.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was, but it was. I was dead from the waist down.
And that's different how.
That's different how, exactly. I was going to make that joke before you got to it.
Well, sorry.
Anyway, and then you feel like a paraplegic for about 3 hours.
Really?
I have a friend who's a paraplegic, and I told him, I said, I now know what you go through every day.
Right.
That idea that, hold on a second, my eyes are tearing. See, that's why I'm having the operation.
Right.
I told him, I said, it just was amazing because you just feel nothing below your waist. And you can't move your legs or anything. And it took about 3 hours for it to wear off. But in the meantime, they didn't put me out. Because they didn't want to put me out because they said I'm too old to be put out. I thought you could get to be you get to drink when you're 21.
Right. Right.
So I said, well, but you're not going to put me out? They said, you won't know a thing. And what they did is they gave me like a heavy dose of Valium or something.
Right.
Which put me in this la-la land that I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
Right.
But what I could hear, and this was a wake-up call for me, is I could hear what they talk about in the OR.
Oh, is that right?
When they're operating on somebody. Like
that's kind of weird.
And you know what they were talking about? So what are you going to do this weekend? Oh, we're going up to our cabin up in the country. Oh, that's nice. How's the wife and kids? Oh, they're fine. Right. And this guy's in there diddling with my prostate, right? So but I didn't know what was going on. So that's probably what's going to happen here. I'm not going to. Time will just go like that, But then afterwards, I got to put ice packs on my eyes every 15 minutes for 3 days.
For 3 days.
Yeah, I guess to keep the bruising from getting too bad. I'll look like I won't be able to do a show that week Okay.
Right.
The next week, I'll probably wear dark glasses through every show.
Right. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, it looks like somebody beat you up,
Right.
In fact, somebody sent me a picture. She had it, and she sent me pictures of her operation. And I went, oh, my God, I don't want to do that. I mean, really, it looks like I have an abusive wife or something,
Right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take Marjorie, walk down the street with her with my glasses off, and
Right.
have everybody stare at her.
And every once in a while, just turn to her and say, "Stop hitting me."
Yeah. Well, did you ever have a girlfriend, for instance, who got something like a black eye you had nothing to do with, and then you walk down the street with them, and everybody gives you dirty looks?
No, that never happened to me. That happened to you?
Yeah, it happened once, yeah. I mean,
Really?
It had nothing to do with me. She bumped into a door or something, and she got this black eye.
Right.
And then we're walking down the street, and everybody's giving me dirty looks.
Sure.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a door. Go
Right.
give dirty looks to the door.
Well,
Ridiculous.
people don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, so you forgot about going to Clear Choice. Yeah, I don't know. They're a place that says we'll put in implants for like $900 or something like that.
Right. Well, let's ask the viewers. I mean, has anybody gone to Clear Choice?
Okay. Well, we'll wait for them to answer us.
Right.
We record this ahead of time.
Right.
But there will be things that will come up on the side panel here, the chat. So if anybody
Does this air every Wednesday?
Yeah, I put it on Wednesday. I put it day and date. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So we can get really, we can get topical and things like that.
Right.
We're not going on and going. So, how do you think the Civil War is going so far?
Hey, Custard, how do you feel about Little Bighorn?
It's just amazing to me that they can't give you like a clipper to put in there, just for cosmetic purposes.
Right.
Because you are an actor after all, and I know there are parts for people with no teeth, but I mean,
they're few and far between. And they're not usually big roles.
What I'm thinking, what I'm thinking of doing? I signed up for this thing called the casting something or another, and they send these casting notices for extras.
Right.
And I have to then sign up for this thing in order to be able to get all the information.
Right.
But I was thinking of just trying it. What the hell? A lot of them for people who are like over the, at age 80. Just be in a crowd or whatever. And I figure it pays union scale. It's about $200 a day.
Right. But you're treated kind of like cattle.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
you eat after the principals eat. You don't get a trailer. You sit out in the rain sometimes. You sit on the curb. You wait around for hours and hours and hours.
They don't have an extras dressing room.
Not on any set that I've been on. No.
I think that's hilarious. But I don't mind being treated like cattle. I've never done movies. I've never been in movies.
Right.
And it's what I set out to do when I went into radio.
Really?
Radio was going to be the way to pay the bills, and then I figured if I did well enough in radio, they'd ask me to be in movies.
Right.
Well, I never wound up in movies.
No, but they did tape some TV shows in San Francisco, and they shot movies in San Francisco.
Yes, of course.
I'm sure. Well, I wonder why you weren't asked.
I auditioned for a few, but I never got in. I never got them.
Well, do you have any acting chops?
There's this woman, Nancy, what's her name, in San Francisco's casting director. And
I forget.
Yeah, Nancy, I'm trying to remember her last name. And she liked me, so she used to call me in for stuff. I got called in for a Schwarzenegger film for a part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I guess I'm just not that good an actor or whatever, or that I don't do it enough that I know how to do it, or that, worst of all, I'm not very good at auditions.
Okay.
I often told people who wanted to audition me for a radio show, send us your audition tape. I said, the only audition I'm going to do for you is for you to hire me on for like a week while someone goes on vacation. And I said, you're going to hate me on Monday, you're going to think a little bit about it on Tuesday, and by Wednesday, you're going to want to hire me.
Right.
I said, but if I do an audition for you, you're not even going to want me.
Right. Right.
And so auditions really don't count. What counts is what you're going to do once you get there.
Auditions are a screening process. You either fit the mold or you don't. You like when you're at an audition, you're in the waiting room, and you see 12 other people that look very similar to you.
Yeah, well, I will always think of you as thug number 3.
Thank you so much. I was crony number 2.
Was it crony number 2?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
So that's up from thug number 3.
That's right. That's right. But I do get killed by Eastwood.
That's a great claim to fame.
Right.
Who was it? There was an actor who did a lot of movies where he killed people. And after he'd do a scene with somebody and kill them, he'd give them a bouquet of flowers.
Well, Eastwood came up to me and said, "Nice working with you, Stephen. Pleasure blowing you away."
Did he say that?
Yeah, he really did.
Wow.
Right after my death scene.
Yeah. You said he was great to work with.
Oh, he's the best. He was the best to work with.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
You know, he just had finished another movie, which is going to be on, I think, HBO Max.
Right.
With him starring in it.
Right.
He's 92.
Is that right?
That's what I understand. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Echo, how old is Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood is 91 years old.
91 years old.
91, you were close.
1930.
Born on May 31st, 1930.
Really?
Yeah.
What is Echo? I've heard of Alexa.
That's Alexa.
And I've heard of Cyrus.
Well,
Sirius.
I it's an Alexa I'm talking to, but the actual product is called. I have to whisper Echo.
Okay.
All right. But people use the term Alexa in order to talk to it. But you have a choice. You can put in a choice of words, and one of them is Echo.
Right.
So what I did is I put in that rather than Alexa because my name is Alex.
Right.
And somebody might yell at me, Alex, and then all of a sudden Alexa will say, "What do you want?"
Right.
So that's why we. And by the way, Marjorie has a friend named Echo.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Somebody named their kid Echo?
Well, she's Chinese. I guess it's a common Chinese name.
Echo.
Yeah. I don't know how it's spelled. I don't know if it's ECHO or whether it's ECCO or something like that.
Right.
Or ECO or whatever. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Still, it's an odd name.
But yes, I mean, it's kind of a nice name for a woman, don't you think?
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's a sweet name. Yeah.
Echo.
Yeah. I mean, it's better.
How are you? Echo.
It's better than Dweezil or Moon Unit.
It's certainly better than Moon Unit.
Yeah.
It's certainly better than Moon Unit.
Yeah, and that was what Zappa named his kid.
Right.
But
Right.
I think she changed it just to Moon.
Is that right?
Yeah, but Dweezil Zappa kept the name Dweezil.
Right. And we got used to it. We didn't mind the name. At first, it was kind of like, are you kidding? It's like, who's the actress that named their kid Apple?
Well, I think you are. Your life is somewhat figured out or dependent on your ability to live with the name you were given.
Who named their kid Apple?
I don't know.
You don't remember? It's some actress.
Oh, Apple. Yeah, I think it was like. Yeah, it's a pretty modern actress too, a current actress.
Was it like Gwyneth Paltrow?
I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow named her kid Apple.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know
now
why.
That's a stupid name.
Well, no, I think they would have done better to go with the name iPhone, but they didn't.
Good night.
Well, no, but I grew up with the name Schwarzman, and that kind of dictated my life a little bit because I spent my whole life having to tell people, "Hey, no T, 2 N's."
Right.
You know, because they'd always.
That's like I got a friend whose name is Silberberg, not Silverberg. No V's, 2 B's.
Silberberg, and every time he's got probably spell it out for
Right.
people.
Right.
It's Silberberg. I can't even pronounce it. Silberberg.
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 He's got 3 books out right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
They're kids' books. Kids' books.
oh, okay. But anyway, so with Schwarzman, it was I had a few little problems about that, and then when I was a kid, I had a nickname from my parents nicknamed me Bolo.
Bolo?
Yes. Well, here's the reason why.
Okay, let's hear this.
You know, in the Jewish religion,
Right.
because you're Jewish,
Sure.
that you name your child after a dead relative.
Right, and you use the first initial.
Is it you just use the first initial?
Right, I'm named after my great-grandfather Samuel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was the first. I thought it was actually the name.
No.
But anyway.
It can be.
At that time, the only really dead relative that was significant to my father was his brother, who died at 21. And
Really?
his name was Boleslav.
Oh my goodness.
Well-
That's a name.
Well, yeah. But if you shortened it here in America, you would shorten it to Bolo.
Okay.
So they didn't want to saddle me with the name Bolo. They felt it was just too European.
Right.
Okay? So they gave me a very anglicized name. Bennett,
Right.
Gordon, Schwarzman. Gordon was a family name.
Where did Alex come from?
Well, that goes a long way into my story. We haven't gotten there yet.
All right.
So,
Nice.
so my parents always called me Bolo, and until I was like 8, I didn't know my name was really Bennett.
Really?
And then I wanted to be called Ben. But I
Oh,
don't
really?
Yeah, but I don't even like being called Ben. I like being called Bennett if you're going to call me by my real first
Right.
name.
Certainly you're not a Benny.
But at that time, I called myself Ben. And so I stopped with the Bolo because it was like when my parents say Bolo, I go, that's not my parents. I don't-
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Right. So, but I
So you were never a Benny.
no, I was never a Benny. No.
That's like there's only 2 people that call me Stevie.
Yeah. So,
Will and Debbie Durst.
really?
Right.
Oh, God. Well.
They're the only ones. They're the only ones allowed to.
Oh, okay, Stevie. Anyway.
Yeah, easy there.
So what happened was then I was using the name in radio because everybody has to take a stage name, and you're not going to use Schwarzman in those days.
Right.
Today you might because there's a Schwarzenegger, right?
Right.
But anyway, so I figured I would take my first name, Bennett,
Right.
make it my last name because that's a good
Okay.
last name.
Right.
And then I called myself Jerry Bennett because I like Jerry Lewis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was
There's a
Jerry.
confession.
I was Jerry Bennett until I got into the military, and then after the military, I got out, and they said, and then I kept using Jerry Bennett. And then I went to Houston, Texas, and I became James Bond. Let's not even get into that. I didn't pick it. The station did. That's what the station was doing. They wanted a morning man named James Bond. So,
Right.
okay. So then they gave me a nighttime talk show, and I had to change my name. And I figured, what am I going to go back to? Jerry Bennett? I got to a point where, that name did not appeal to me.
Right.
I wanted something really different. And my father had just died.
Okay.
And his name was Alex.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, is that right? So to honor your father, you chose Alex Bennett.
Yeah. So my name, my show business name, is a little bit of both of
Right.
part of my life, So
You're a mensch.
Yeah, it's my father's first name and my first name together.
Right.
That's how that came about.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were in the military. What branch were you in?
I was in His Majesty's Navy.
You were in the Navy?
Mhm.
For how long? 2 years?
2 years because I was in the Navy Reserve. And in those
okay.
days, with Army Reserve, you went in for 6 months and you had to keep going to meetings. With
Right.
the Navy Reserve, you went in for 2 years.
Right.
And then when you got out, you didn't have to go to meetings or anything.
Oh, okay.
So I figured, do the 2 years and get it over with. So
Right.
Yeah, so it was really rough service, too. It really was. It was terrible.
Yeah, I can tell. Saw a lot of action, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me where I finally wound up.
Where'd you wind up?
At the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service in Hollywood.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, good for you.
What I
That's
did.
like my dad was in the Air Force and he joined the band.
Well, what happened was when I knew I was going to the Navy, I started writing letters like crazy to the Navy Department or whatever, saying you really should put me in some kind of radio position because I've been a broadcaster for years and blah 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 blah. And I kept writing them.
Right.
And then I got brought into the Navy, and they put me on a ship, the USS Topeka.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so I ran their PR department, which really amounted to just writing parents and saying, "Your son is really doing a good job here in the Navy."
Right.
And one day they say, "Bennett, Schwarzman rather, please report to blah blah blah." And I go somewhere, and they say, "Do you know anybody at the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, you're being assigned there."
Oh, good for you.
Apparently, the Navy had the Navy PR people. I can't remember where I wrote exactly, but they had the power to oversee and override anything the Navy might say and say, "We want this guy, go get him."
Right.
And so they said, we want him for the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service. So for the next year and a half, I served my time
By doing radio.
on McCadden Street in Hollywood.
Right.
In this big building called the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Really?
Yeah. Broadcasting newscasts to the world.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Wow, aren't you special?
It was terrific. Yeah. The only problem with it is that at that time, if you did it, were at the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service, back in China, they were making a list of the names of everybody who did newscasts out of the Armed Forces Radio and Television Service, and then they charged us with being spies or being propagandists.
Is that right?
Yeah. And
oh, that's cool.
Years later, I went to China, and they never arrested me for it. But
right?
They supposedly I was on this guy is wanted as a propagandist because anybody who was on the air, and all I was doing was the news.
Right.
So.
Well, that's propaganda when you're the enemy.
I guess. Do I look like a propagandist to you?
No.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, do you qualify for VA benefits?
Yes.
Oh, so you're
I've never gone for them, but we checked into it, and there are certain VA benefits. If I want to buy a home, I still have a VA loan I can get.
Is that right?
Yeah. And a couple other things. I know Marjorie sent away and got all the stuff. She got my discharge papers, and then she applied, and they sent her all the benefits and stuff. But I've never used any of them.
Right.
Maybe I will someday. Who knows?
Right. You should consider it.
Go probably wind up in a veterans hospital or something.
Well, you know what? It won't cost you a dime.
Well, I guess not. I mean, but I haven't really checked into it. I didn't think much of it. All right.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I've never been one who's that goes out of my way to get free stuff. I don't know why, but
right.
I know people that do. They'll, go crazy just to get something for free. But
right.
I don't.
Right.
So anyway, when are you gonna find out about your tooth?
Yes. On Friday.
On Friday. Okay. So the next time we talk, we'll know.
Right. Well, we'll know more.
Well, you're going to an oral surgeon. He's going to tell you.
Right.
He's going to tell you $5,000. I bet you. But who knows?
Right. Who knows?
If that happens, we can probably find a way to get it taken care of cheaper. I'm sure.
Right.
Now, do you have insurance, right?
I have Medicare and Mass Health.
Yeah. Well, if you were able to get SAG-AFTRA, but you can't get it, so neither can I. By the way, Ed Asner's suit went to a judge the other day. They wanted SAG-AFTRA wanted it dismissed,
Right.
And the judge said, no way.
What was the suit?
The suit is to restore the benefits we had, because they say by doing away with them, they were discriminatory towards old people.
Ageism.
Yeah, and in spite of the fact that Asner is now dead, his name will still be on the suit. So
Right.
it's good.
Right.
It's good. He was a terrific guy. He was a fighter. He was a scrappy guy.
Huh.
You know, a troublemaker. Good troublemaker.
Right.
Anyway, hey, listen, we've run out of time here. You know,
Are you kidding me?
I give you 25 minutes, and before I know it, we're there.
Right.
You know. See you next week.
See you next week, same time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Stephen Kravitz. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, okay, thank you very much. There was Stephen Kravitz, and here I am. How are you? Good evening. I'm Alex Bennett, and we're here until till midnight tonight. And is anybody waiting to be on the show? No, there's nobody waiting to be on the show. Oh, well, wait a minute. Somebody just came on here. William Ferguson. Okay, well, we'll bring William in here and admit him. But he's the one person we got here. I haven't got your picture on yet, William. Hold on a second. Let me just do this a little bit, and we should be okay. Let me see here. There we are. Hello, William. How are you?
Hi, Alex.
You know, nobody's calling.
Nobody's calling.
Yeah, usually,
What?
you know, when I start off the show, usually there were like 4 or 5 people ready to go, you know, and then others joined, and that's not the case tonight. All of a sudden, we're not. Oh, here comes. Let's see here. Well, Jeff Stein.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah,
All right.
I love having Jeff on. The only problem with Jeff is that he doesn't say much. And first he's got,
I'll say a little bit today.
You'll say a little bit today? Well,
Yeah.
there's nobody else to compete against except William. And
Oh,
he'll give
guess
you,
I got to work hard.
you gotta
I'll go
work
on
hard.
for days.
Yeah, it's a big, all the pressure's on you. You know, I begin to wonder, I've said this before, and I gripe about this, and but I wonder why I even do this, if this is the kind of reaction we're getting now. Now, next week, I'm not even going to be on most days next week. I'm not going to be on except for, I think, Friday we'll be able to be on. We'll be able to do a show because I've got this court thing going on.
Court.
Yeah, and I go to court. Yeah, it's that murder trial against me. And
Okay.
yeah.
I thought it was the stagecoach robbery in
But
Dodge
you know,
City.
we won't be here next week for at least. I mean, I will do the Monday show, but the trial is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then they say the following week it might be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm thinking to myself, this is just about an apartment. You know, they're murder trials that have gone for less time than this thing. You know. And every minute that this judge keeps having another day that we're going to be there, it's another day that I got to be paying a lawyer. And, you know, when they bill out at like almost $500 an hour, it's not cheap.
No.
Okay. And it's horrible. So
Are you involved in this, or are you on the jury?
No, I'm involved in this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what? I mean, I'm on a jury. I'm paying lawyers? No, you know, when you're on a jury, you don't have to pay a lawyer. You know,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe, maybe.
Well, I think the judge likes you. Does the judge like you?
No. They already have an attitude about us, preconceived attitude. You know, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Speedy trial. Hey, fair and balanced. Fair trial.
Yeah. Hardly. I mean, I find it's just, you know, the judge goes, let's have another conference to see if we can settle this thing. Oh, great. Get all the lawyers in a room. You know, the only people that come out ahead in this deal are the lawyers. And they go, oh, we're going to spend 4 hours in a conference before the actual trial. Oh, goody, goody, goody. That's another, let's say, that's $2,000. And I just make that by coming into this courtroom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I should have been a lawyer.
Now, wait a minute. On top of that, there are 3 sets of lawyers in this case. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, because there are 3 parties involved. So 3 times, $2,000, $6,000 being made in that courtroom that day.
Should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, it should have been a lawyer. Yeah,
me too.
Exactly.
Nice work if you can get it.
Yeah, very nice work. But,
I got a lawyer.
You have a lawyer?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a lawyer. I mean, I've got this lawyer.
My wife's a lawyer.
I know your wife's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she couldn't handle this kind of case.
I don't think she wanted to.
I don't think she'd want to. No. What kind of law does she do?
Well, she used to do a lot of environmental stuff.
Oh, okay.
And but right now she's retired at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But she does a lot of little things for her friends for help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah. So anyway, if other people try to call now, shall I let them on or shall I not let them on?
Oh, let them on.
I mean, I just where are the usual suspects? Where's Alan tonight?
Yeah.
I mean, he's usually there at the very beginning. I need people at the very beginning. I don't need them later on.
Well, last couple of weeks, it's like I wanted to come on, but you weren't having a show, and the times I couldn't come on because I had some hot coding projects for school that I had to do. It's like I couldn't. You were doing your show.
Well, no, I've been doing my show every night, except for I've stopped doing Tuesdays. And, I begin to wonder why I should be doing Thursdays right now. Not that you guys, I don't appreciate you guys calling, but I just wonder why I should even be doing it, I do the show on Monday. We got 13 people the other day, almost immediately.
Yeah. I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, why do I keep doing this thing at night is what I'm beginning to wonder. But then again, if I do the thing, if I were to do a 4 o'clock show, say 2-3 days a week, it wouldn't make that Monday one as special as it is. So that's the other problem. So I don't know what to do.
Plus, at this time, you get all the California people who are available, let's say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and a lot of the East Coast people too. Where are you, William?
I'm in California.
You're in California, yeah. So it's early there for you.
Yeah, it's 8:07.
Yeah, 8:07. But we'll do this for a couple more minutes, and if nobody's calling, I'm just gonna call it quits. Anything you want to talk about, William? Something that has been in the news or something that's been bothering you?
Bothering me? Well,
it doesn't have to be in the news either. It could just be something that's bothering you.
Where do I start? Well, I hear Facebook is changing their name.
Yes, they're going to be called Meta.
Yeah, it's like it smacks of Philip Morris.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah, because they changed their name to Altria, but they're still selling the products that kill 500,000 people a year.
Well, people don't realize this. A lot of companies aren't using the names you think they use, like Google. You think is Google, right?
It's Alphabet,
but the company is Alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
Where they came up with Alphabet, I have no idea. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, does it?
Yeah, I think it does. Alphabet?
Yeah.
I think there's a description.
Yeah.
Saying something with the letter A.
Now, this is Matt Duckworth is supposedly calling, but I have no idea. This may be a phony call, so let's see what it is. Let's see here. It could be somebody that we already know and is using another name. Matt, are you there? Matt, are you there? See, I don't get any.
Oh, there he is.
There's Matt. Hello, Matt. How are you? Give us a little audio. Does he have his audio
Put
on?
your volume
Yeah,
on.
he does have his audio on. Can you hear us, Matt? Matt, can you hear us? Sometimes the first time somebody, I don't think Matt's ever called before, has he? Or has he?
Oh, here he comes. He's connecting.
He's connecting his audio. Hello, you there, Matt? Wait a minute. Matt?
Matt.
Can you hear us, Matt? There he goes. Now he's back on again. This isn't. All you got to do is, let me see here. Matt's got his audio on. Can you hear us, Matt?
Nod your head, Matt.
Let's see here. Make co-host now. Stop now. Let's see here. I can mute him, but he's supposedly he's got his audio, but he can't hear us. Boy, this makes for some great broadcasting, doesn't it?
It's definitely gripping.
Yeah. While he's trying to get in there. There are places you can just call us, folks. You can just go over to gabnet.net, and over on the right-hand side of the page it says here, click here to Zoom, and you'll immediately be put on with us. Can you hear us, Matt? Yes, Matt. We just heard you.
Yeah. Sorry.
What was your problem, Matt?
Stupid controls. It's not clear on how to turn the audio on. It's stupid.
You've been on before, right, Matt?
And I'm supposed to be an IT professional, and I can't figure it out.
Okay, where are you calling from, Matt?
Seattle.
Oh yeah, you're the guy from Seattle, right? Okay.
Yeah. And whenever I hear you have a low audience, I make sure to call because I don't want you to stop.
Oh well, good. Matt Duckworth, but I don't remember you. Did you use the name Duckworth last time, or just use Matt or something?
I think I added my last name because I was using it for work. And so,
I see. Okay.
So it changed. Yeah.
So what kind of IT stuff do you do?
I'm working from home now, and I support this company that it's like document management stuff for some attorneys and medical field litigation stuff.
Yeah. How do you like working from home now?
I have mixed feelings about it. It's kind of nice. You don't have to make a lunch. You don't have to shower half the time.
You don't have to wear underpants.
You barely have to.
Yeah.
Yes, what are these pants you speak of?
But I do kind of miss some of the interaction and stuff,
Yeah, but I of course I wasn't in the middle of all this because I was way out of work before this. But I wondered what would I do if I had to do my show every day from home for like Sirius XM. And I liked getting up and going in and going up an elevator into a studio environment, and then walking into the studio, and there was my producer, and there was other people, and I just don't know if I would be that happy working from home,
Yeah, there's something to it, especially in meetings and stuff. It's a lot more productive if you can see everybody. Unlike you want to be in the Zuckerberg metaverse meetings.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? Who was the writer? I saw an interview with a writer once, and they asked him, "How do you write? Because you obviously write at home." And he had this big sprawling ranch or whatever, and he said he actually has a cabin that he had built, and every day he goes to this cabin for 8 hours, except he takes an hour off for lunch, and he goes in there, and no matter what, he forces himself to write. He said, unless I do it that way, I'm never going to write anything. And I've heard of other people doing exactly that same thing. I question how productive people are at home, although maybe they are more productive than we would like to think. But
I think I'm more productive because sometimes you can, maybe need to take 2 or 3 hours off to go run some errands and then just work later into the night. And, there's so much more flexibility if the job allows it,
Yeah.
Are you the only one at home?
Yeah, I got a place to myself.
Yeah.
I've been applying for other jobs because I don't have benefits at this job, but I've decided today I'm just giving up on trying. It's too much. It's too much rejection. I'm so tired of it. I've been trying for a year to get a job with benefits, and the whole job market application process is kind of a joke.
Is finding jobs with benefits these days difficult?
Well,
Because
for me it has been.
Because you would think these companies were throwing out benefits like crazy because they can't get anybody to go to work for them.
Yeah, I mean, most of the places that I am applying at have benefits, but the only one that I've been able to land is I got this job like 3 months ago now.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but they don't have medical. I have medical from Cobra from when I got laid off, but that expires in December. Mm-hmm. So, but the whole process of applying is just ridiculous. You know, you throw your resume into this black hole online, and you just pray to God they reply to you, and it's stupid.
I don't know anything about that. No.
It's kind of a joke.
Yeah, it is.
How about you?
I think
Go ahead. William, you have the same kind of situation?
Oh no, I have a job. But yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I threw out my resume, and it was like they would get back to me like months later, and it was like, did I apply for this place?
Yes. Yeah.
Who are you again?
God, I don't even know how you'd find a radio job today. There aren't any, I don't think.
There are none.
What?
It's all push button.
You know, you do a podcast, but how many podcasts are there out there?
A lot.
A lot. You want to know how many? I think I saw a number like 4 million. 4 million. This is one podcast out of 4 million. Yeah, I'm lucky anybody's calling. You know, I mean, it's amazing how much work how many people are doing podcasts, and I'm thinking to myself, man, that's really cheapened my business. You know,
I had a question for you, Alex, about that. This GabNet, I've been listening to you for a couple of years now, and is there anything really behind GabNet itself, or is that just a name on a site? Is there something else behind that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, we're really known as Meta. And
nice.
What do you mean? Is there anything else but behind it? You mean anybody backing it or something?
No, I mean, are there other? I know there's the other show with Jack. But is there like other? Do you own it? Is it an actual corporation kind of a thing?
You're looking at the CEO, right?
You just one day thought, I'm going to call a GabNet and I'm going to make a site, and that was.
Well, no. What happened? What happened was I got fired from Sirius XM, and we wanted to put something on the air the following Monday, and I had a friend who had a TV studio, so we actually did this as a TV show to begin with, out of a studio, and it looked gorgeous. It really was terrific. But it was, we did that, and then we then went and started doing it as audio because the studio that we were doing it from went out of business. And so I just started doing it not like this, but actually just as an audio-only show. And we had, towards the end of my time at Sirius XM, started referring to the show I was doing as the Great American Broadcast, because there was a song out of a 1930s movie called The Great American Broadcast, and so we used that as the theme song and everything. And when we started doing it here online, my producer, Albert, said to me, gee, Great American Broadcast, it's GabNet. The Great American Broadcast Network. So we just started calling it GabNet. That's how the name came about. And
that's funny because Phil Meyer claims that he coined the term.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. It was Albert. Yeah.
There you go.
Who came up with GabNet.
How long did Albert work with you?
Well, he worked with me at Sirius XM for almost
forever.
9 years, I think. Yeah.
But I mean, at your office, so to speak.
What do you mean? In this thing?
In Gabnet, yeah.
Gabnet, he was with me for the first 6 months when we were doing the TV thing, and he was doing the switching and everything like that.
Right.
And then he came and did a show here for a while.
That's right.
When we were doing just the audio. Yeah. In fact, if you have Roku, use your Roku and go on to Gabnet. There's a Gabnet channel, and there you will find what we call I guess I call it the archives or something like that, and all the old shows are there, and you can hear Albert's show there. You can also hear Jim's show. You can hear Miranda Janelle, who was with us. I don't know how many of you remember this now, you know.
Most of this. I don't remember everybody's name.
Right.
I'm Alan.
Yeah. But we had Miranda Janelle, and she did a show every night. Or about 3 nights a week, 2 nights a week, something like that. And then Jim Browning, Revelstoke Jim, did a show 3 nights a week. And so we had quite a few people doing it. And we also had a sex show on here for a while.
Really?
That some people were doing. A sex show.
Uh-huh.
Well, this guy came to me and he said, we're doing a show. But they were doing it for broadcast. So it couldn't be too filthy, right? You know.
Why not?
Is it a Q&A type show about sex?
I can't even explain what it was, you know. I should put one on over the weekends. I should put one of the episodes of it on so people could hear what it was. But you know, I didn't. You know, it didn't last very long. It lasted
You
about
can
a
watch
year.
sort of sex on YouTube now. They got a friend of mine looks for the weird and odd stuff on YouTube. Sent me a link of a guy and a girl kissing and her getting down, eating her out. It didn't show his tongue in there, but you could see what looked like it. It showed 2 gay guys having sex with another gay guy, almost in the nude. You didn't see any genitals.
I don't know. I watch YouTube every 2-3 hours a day, and I've never run anything that comes even close to that.
And then,
I have never seen anything like that.
Yesterday, I think I brought this up on Jack's show, but yesterday she said, I can't believe this. There's somebody completely nude demonstrating on his own dick how to put a condom on. And I looked at it and I go, well, this is not pretty, but, you know, I can't believe that YouTube's allowing this.
Well, that's educational.
That's what Jack said. He said that, but, you know, you got some like 22-year-old, sounds like German boy who's, you know, a bodybuilder or something. And he's erect and he's nude and he's putting his condom on, talking.
I've never seen anything like that on YouTube, and I don't think it would ever exist. Okay.
You want me to send it to you?
Send me is it a YouTube link?
Yes.
Okay, send me the YouTube link and I will look at it.
I still have the email that she sent me. I'll send you the link. I can't believe that it's on YouTube.
That should be a new show called I Can't Believe It's on YouTube.
There we go.
Right.
So I'm not going to play it now. I'm just going to find it and
just send me the link. Just send me the link.
I will. It's just it's
everybody out there is listening, going, "Will you share that with us? Will you share that?"
Yeah, really.
With
They're
us?
like, "Go find it, Alan. Go find it." You know.
Yeah.
Show us, Alan. Show us.
How do I get this out of the? Oh, there we go.
Today we are going to put on the condom.
I'm already signed in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just get the email.
Okay.
Yeah. Do copy
All right.
paste and
I
send.
got the link. I'm copying the link.
And you're putting it on my Facebook page, right? You're sending me as a Facebook message.
Is that what you wanted on?
Yeah. Do it as a Facebook message.
That's fine. That's easy for me.
Let me see here.
Alex, is this what you call good radio?
Huh?
Now
what you
you
call
know
good radio?
the numbers are going up now. People want to see this.
Well, no,
I don't know if Facebook would allow this, but the link. You can get the link on Facebook. Hold on a minute, Alex Bennett.
Yeah, it just you do to
Send you a message.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I should be getting it here. I've got Messenger here.
Okay, it's on Messenger. It's sent.
There it is, cigar dude. There it is. You hear? Rang my watch.
And so it shows a picture right now below it of a bodybuilder type guy with his bathing suit on, and it says how to wear a condom for a man.
Well, wait a minute. Let me show everybody here that actually,
I mean, this part is obviously can be shown.
Yeah, there it is. See right here, folks.
Are we about to get zucked? We're going to get zucked here, aren't we?
No, because this is on YouTube. I'm not going to show it, however, because I don't know what it's going to be. But let me just watch it for a second and see what it looks like.
It's a minute and a half long.
It's a minute and a half, and the guy is now waving, and he's got a condom, and he says, "How to wear a condom for a man." Well, how do you wear a condom for a woman? Wait a minute, his penis is out, and it is erect, and he is okay. If YouTube doesn't let this show on right now that we're doing because we're discussing this, then I want to know why I can go on YouTube and get this. Yeah, he's putting
that's educational.
I mean, he's got. He's like 22, 25. He's got no body hair. He obviously shaves his hair or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what guys do, but he's got this big ass dick and he's putting it on, and his balls are hanging. I mean, it's just he's in the nude, and I'm like, how the hell?
Well, there it is. It is. You are right. I find that very hard to believe.
I've seen videos, with women giving birth on YouTube. I mean, it's just. It's got happy human coming out of her.
So a link to this picture, away from this picture, there's it lists on the site of YouTube things that are closely related that you might want to see.
Yeah.
I got to watch actual surgery, it's on there, of how a penile implant is installed. A lot of cutting and a lot of blood, and I'm like, if it doesn't work, I'm done with it. I am not getting one of these penile implants.
Well, I saw this
really painful surgery.
Well, I wouldn't want one of those penile implants.
But when it stops working, it's done. Who cares?
Yeah. What were you going to say, Mr. Ferguson?
Oh, no, I was raising my hand. Yeah, me too.
I'm like, okay, if it decides, I mean, at 62, almost 63, and it still works, and so no pills needed, but that could change.
Well, I'm 81, and it takes a lot of coaxing. Well, I also had the prostate thing and all of that,
right. I haven't had that yet.
And I could feel bad about that, but I had so many fun years with it.
Yeah, it sounds like you fucked just about everybody everywhere you went.
Well, I didn't get around to you. But anyway,
female.
No, but I found that to be honest with you, that I was very, very happy with how the use I got out of it. And if I'm not getting a lot of use out of it now, so be it. I mean, come on.
It works as a great thing to empty your bladder.
Well,
sometimes.
Huh?
Sometimes.
It's like the line out of My Favorite Year when Selma Diamond walks into the men's room and there's Peter O'Toole taking a leak. And she says, "This is for women." He says, "So's this, ma'am, but occasionally I have to run water through it."
Yeah.
So. So Matt, are you happy where you moved to? You were where? You were down in the Southwest somewhere, weren't you?
I was down in Houston.
Yep.
Yeah, and I like it here. I mean, it's cold, but it's cold just about everywhere. So I can't really hold that against it.
Is it a nice variety of people?
Yeah, I've gotten out here and there, and people are really nice here, and there's some really good restaurants, and it's confusing. There's a lot of nooks and crannies all over the place, parts of the city that to explore. There's a lot to see. So
I was in Seattle one day. I think the sun came out for about 11 minutes on a Wednesday.
The first 3 months
for 2 years.
I was in Seattle once, and it stopped raining for about 11 minutes.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I think it's to be changed a little bit because the first 3 months I was here, it didn't rain hardly at all.
Yeah. Thank you, Donald Trump, for screwing up the environment.
Oh, you're not getting slammed by that bomb typhoon that we had?
It's raining, but because I was living in Texas. The storm. The storms in Texas are so horrendous that to me this is nothing. So it doesn't really bother me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know you were in Houston. You were talking about that last night, Alex, and that was one of the things I really hated about there. It floods there so easily that it's just horrendous.
You know, I don't remember it flooding. I just remember the humidity as being unrelenting.
Yeah. It's right next to the Gulf of Mexico, right?
But I mean, humid 10 months out of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wow. Oh, yeah. As I used to joke, it's very hard to keep a crease in your pants in Houston, Texas.
All right, let me cross that off my list of places that I might want to go visit.
Actually, Houston was one of my favorite cities of all the cities that I lived in.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That surprises me so much to hear you say that.
Well, this was back, this was back in the day. And
it's probably much different.
You had these, what I loved about Texas were the beer lounges. They were fun. You go in, there'd be Buck Owens on the jukebox, and they'd be serving Jack's beer, or Pearl beer. And I wasn't a beer drinker, but I loved it. I loved just the whole environment. I thought Houston in those days was a lot of fun.
Were you near downtown, or what part of Houston were you at?
I lived out near Buffalo Bayou. You know where Buffalo Bayou was? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I had an apartment. There was a big apartment house complex there, and I lived there.
Nice area. That's a nice area.
And then we were down in this radio station was on Lovett Boulevard or Lovett Street, was it? And that later on, I was told that became the gay section of town. But I loved it.
I've never been bothered by gay people. I mean, I had a girlfriend for years that lived in the middle of the Castro, and so if I was bothered, I would have never visited her.
Well, I was never bothered by gay people because I went into show business and I went into theater in the beginning.
Oh, you can't swing a dead cat in show business and theater without hitting a gay person.
Yeah, I mean, but I was going. I started out by being an actor.
Yeah,
and so I did a lot of theater, and all the people I work with were gay, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was
that? Oh,
and
you think I'm going to trust my hair to a straight guy?
Yeah, not that hairstyle, William.
Well, I trust my hair.
At least you got enough hair to.
I trust my hair to my wife.
There you go.
Yeah, so
You comb your hair with a wash rag, right, Alex?
What?
You comb your hair with a wash rag.
Yeah, that's the old joke.
I remember you were on that minoxidil kick for a while.
Well, I tried that for a while, and
did you ever get any results? I never saw any tangible results from that.
I never saw any tangible results either.
I tried it. I got dry skin, and it made my head itch.
And then I started taking for the prostate. I started taking minoxidil. And minoxidil is actually what Rogaine is.
Right.
It's the same thing. Only rub
Rogaine
it's
the name
it's
brand,
in
right?
Liquid form, and you pour it on your head. I used that for quite a while, and that didn't help. But
that's the same thing, though, right?
It's the same thing. It just has another usage.
Oh, okay.
In the case of finasteride, it's to shrink your prostate for enlarged prostates. Yeah. Yeah, and over several months it shrinks it. It's nothing that it does overnight.
There's a drug that shrinks your prostate that also grows hair called Propecia.
Propecia is what finasteride was. Excuse me. That's what finasteride was.
Okay, now I got it. Okay, good.
That's what Trump takes.
I also had a maid named Propecia, so that was
Wow.
Anyway. So let me see here. What
Alex is still watching how to put the condom on.
No, what's
it's just kind of humorous. I mean, as soon as I sent the email to you, I'm gonna, and I sent it to a couple other people. I'm gonna delete the email. It's of no interest to me. I don't use condoms, and besides, when I was a kid, I learned how.
Well, I mean,
not everybody does.
Well, I mean, a lot of people use condoms because of prevention of disease. I mean,
Sure.
why we wear masks for
Pregnancy, disease. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to use it for pregnancy, it's not the best idea. Okay, it helps, but you can still get somebody pregnant with a condom. They've been known to break. Okay.
Yes, they have.
Wait a minute. You want me to show you how to put it on? No. Anyway.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That was pretty instructional. There's other ones on YouTube too, but
no. What I remember in Seattle was there's a great fish market there, isn't there?
Oh, I'm watching this now. Oh my God! Wow. Holy.
Everybody in the audience, come on the show and
damn! Talk about tall timber.
When I was a kid,
wow.
they used the banana, and we liked it.
Yeah, right. They showed you how to do it.
This is the one that's that's a kid that talks over what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Lord! Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
right.
timber. I get it.
Yeah. Wow. And that one guy was not circumcised.
Well, I'll have to show it to Marjorie, my wife, because she always says to me, like when we're watching a TV show and there's nudity in the show, are we going to see penis? That's what she always says to me. Are we going to see penis?
She'll love to see.
She'll love this. She'll love this. Yeah.
It's a kid with, a big dick.
I guess.
I guess.
Is that big?
Maybe not compared to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've never seen yours. Don't care to. But it looks pretty big to me. I don't know.
It seems like it's average size to me. I don't know. But
yeah, except for he has foreskin and you don't. I'll assume.
Actually, okay. All right. I see the one. How to put on a condom for men. I'm looking at this right now. There's another YouTube video showing you how to put on a condom, and all these guys are hung like horses. I mean, just.
I think William's jealous.
Yeah, I am.
I think I wonder.
I'm having an inferiority complex right now.
I'm sorry. If you get away with this, well, wait a minute. I wonder if you can get away with this on YouTube, and that is teaching women how to put on a condom.
Yes.
Okay. And then the woman would have to put the condom on, and then we're getting really close. Okay, we're almost there.
I always felt better when I was with a woman. It's like, yeah, you want me to put on a condom? How about you put it on for me?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think
well, that too.
I think Matt would prefer we change the subject.
I'm starting to sweat.
Oh, sorry, Matt.
He's the only one on the show that could probably do it, need it, use it.
I don't think that's necessarily
let's
true.
Just on to another subject. Leave it to you.
Not very often I'm at a loss of words.
Leave it to you to bring up this subject.
I don't know. I thought it was really unusual for YouTube.
Yeah. In fact, you know what I'll do for the people who are in the chat room. Wait a minute. Where is it? Here is the.
He clicks on the link.
Here, no, yeah, we'll do this. Okay, first of all, let me get Al. There we go, and then I get this. This is that's the YouTube link. They can't get mad at me for putting up a YouTube link, right?
I can't.
Okay, and now I go to let's see here. Where is it? There we go. And now I will put on I bet it probably shows the picture too.
Yeah, the picture, but he's got his swim trunks or something.
Okay, if you're watching the show now, I just put the YouTube link up.
It's on there
for this. Yep. What's there?
It popped up. It says Alex Bennett, and it's got a YouTube video.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the picture.
No.
Good.
I'm gonna touch the link and see what happens.
How many views has this video had, Alan?
718,000.
You must sign in. You must sign in to see the video.
That's not a lot. You would think that would have a lot more than 118,000.
Well, I think that's about maybe $3 monetized.
What?
I think that's about maybe $3.28 monetized.
No, I see with the commercial. But I want. Do they run a commercial beforehand on it?
Let me see. No, it
No.
goes straight to the video.
Yeah.
So you're saying that this every time somebody watches this show on YouTube, this kid makes money, or somebody?
Yes,
Makes money?
yes, he does.
No, only if they're commercials. In other words, I make about $200 a year off of this.
Hey guys.
Okay, but that's because I'm making money via the commercials. Okay, you can only start running commercials once you have 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, but
Well, he's only got 1.2 thousand people, but it only got on YouTube
wait a minute,
October 3rd.
what does it say? One point what?
1.2K. I'm sure for 1,000.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
1,000.
1,200.
1.2 thousand.
Yeah, and he's
Wow.
got 58 people that gave him a thumbs down. But it only got on there on.
Why is this a big subject right now? Why are we even talking about
You
this?
posted it on YouTube.
Well, I thought that
I
would
don't
just
remember
take,
how it
No,
came
we're
up.
done.
Bored?
that
We're
would
bored, perhaps?
that would keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason
Alex,
it's
I-
interesting
What
go ahead.
is
what
because
wait a minute, hold-
nobody expects to see that.
right.
Yeah, people aren't searching for it because they don't expect it to even be out there, right?
Right, on
Yeah.
the internet.
And my numbers of people watching me is probably going to go down now because they're all going to be watching this guy jerk off or put on his
Well,
condom.
when I first started, we were at 30, and now we're at 35.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Boy, we're
So what?
we're
We should all whip our dicks out.
we're cooking
No,
now.
I think let me look for one that's got a woman's vagina showing.
No,
And
just
I'll-
stop it. Let's get
And
on
the
to
numbers
other
will go
stuff.
way up.
Let's get on to other stuff. Okay.
Oh, good.
I have something to show you, Alex. This is
Yeah.
to show you how much of a fan I've been of yours forever. Look, it's on my little toolbox here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, those are our Live 105 bumper stickers.
There you go.
Yeah.
In his toolbox. That way he doesn't
Yep.
have to look at it very often.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's been bothering me. The changeover on live 105. Have you heard? I
The
think
name change.
Yeah, you know something, it doesn't bother me in the least. Everybody's writing me and going, isn't this horrible? Live 105 doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't existed for years. Okay? There's been a station called Live 105, but it's not the old radio station that we used to do. That was gone years ago.
I didn't even listen to it after you left, Alex. I never even listened to it.
Yeah, so they call it Dave now or something like that. So what?
it's Steve, I think.
They
No, I think it's Dave.
And that's an old deal. They would, for a while, their radio stations were naming themselves after legitimate names like Dave and Bill, and I think one of them was in San Francisco, Alice.
Yeah, I used to listen
Oh, yeah.
to Alice. I liked Alice.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
but there was another case of a name, giving a station a name like that. But
Yeah.
you see,
How long were you at Live 105, Alex?
I was there for 4
years?
Oh God, I think I started about 8. I think maybe it was 10 years. Maybe I can't remember.
Oh, is it that long?
Yeah, he was there for a while.
Quite a while.
It
Well,
was
you know-
that the station that let you go. You went to Miami and you came back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there was that break there. But no, I was at KMEL, and then I was at the Quake, and then I went over to Live 105. I think maybe it was like 84. I can't remember now. And
That's about right.
Yeah.
Because I came to see you in the studio, and you had Joey Ramone as a guest.
Oh yeah, I love
And
Joe.
it was such a blast. It was the most fun as a stupid little suburban kid. I had nothing better to do at 6 in the morning.
I'm telling you, and Joey was just. I love Joey. I mean, he was the best. He was
Yeah.
just terrific.
Yeah.
I thought the world of him. But I was there for on and off in that town for about 12 years, 13 years. But I didn't last that long. Here's the thing that gets to me. I just was seeing that they just inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in San Francisco, which I've been I was inducted years ago. Lamont and Tonelli. Now, Lamont and Tonelli were this team that were on in San Jose, right? And I got to say this, in all deference to Lamont and Tonelli, I'm sure they're very nice people. I've never met them before in my life, but they're the most mediocre morning show I ever heard in my life. Okay? They've been there for like 25 years. And I'm going, I ruled that town, for crying out loud, and I only lasted in that town for maybe 12 years, 13 years. And I'm going, what did I do wrong? You know, I mean, how mediocre did I have to get to be able to stay there for 25 years and continually be employed? So I wonder about things like that. And I'm sure a lot of people who are watching me right now are going, don't worry, Alex, you're mediocre enough. You just weren't that mediocre. You know?
Your glasses reflect well. What are you looking at there, Ferguson, William?
Oh, I was looking up Lamont and Tonelli.
Oh, okay.
Name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, they're over at the Bone right now, I think.
Where are the Bone?
The Bone.
Bone. Oh, that's been around for a long time, the Bone.
Yeah.
They're like hard rock kind of a station.
And speaking of the Bone, how's that guy doing putting on that You can't tell me that when they were sitting around trying to think of a name for a radio station, when they came out with the Bone, they thought that was the best fucking idea ever. You know?
That kid probably belongs to the Bone.
Yeah. And and then there was KOME. Remember KOME?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, don't touch that dial. You've got cum on it.
Or they used to call it the cum spot on the dial.
Yep. Dennis Erectus.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Growing up in the Bay Area, I remember all those things.
Yeah. And that was
yeah, they had a DJ named Dennis Erectus. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I remember when he got fired. I remember that part.
Oh, that's right.
That was hilarious. He went out with a bang.
Yeah, well, I spent my life in that town having to compete with people like Dennis Erectus. You know, of course the guy's going to get publicity. He could be terrible. He could have no act at all. But the fact that he was called Dennis Erectus.
That's funny.
You know.
Good name.
So I don't know.
Everybody had a toss-up. Do I listen to Dennis Erectus or Alex Bennett?
Yeah, this mediocre name, Alex Bennett.
Well, if you like dick jokes, you went to Dennis Erectus.
Yeah.
You liked a better class of dick jokes, you went to Alex Bennett.
Yeah. No, we had a high class of dick jokes.
Well, you had a lot of really high-end comedians on your show, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember you had John Cleese on your show.
Yep.
Yeah, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get in. It's like...
He had one of the best lines that I've ever had anybody use on the show. And that was, as I get older, with the grave ever yawning. And I just thought that was so amazingly, comedically poetic. You know, the grave ever yawning. You know, he's still alive, though. Still alive.
Yes, he is.
You know. But no, we went through most of the, you know, it's interesting. Somebody said to me, Mort Saul just died. Mm-hmm. And when I was a kid, he was the comedian I listened to because, you know, he and Lenny Bruce. And they were the two major comics. Lenny was what Lenny was, and Mort was the political comic, and a very good one for the time. He would come out every night with the clubs with a newspaper under his arm, and the first part of his act was ad-libbing jokes from what he saw on the front page. And I really thought the world of him. I thought he was terrific, but I've never had him on my show. And all the time I had all this, and he's from San Francisco.
Wow.
Okay, and I never had him on the show.
You ever try to contact him?
No. Larry Bubbles Brown, who does this show, knew him quite well, and I asked him to talk to him and see if I could talk to him, but I never heard back from Bubbles on that one. So you know, but I never interviewed Mort Saul, and I only did Robin Williams once.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I probably hung out with Robin more often than he was ever on my show. You know, so.
You must have had a line around the building when he was on your show. Huh?
No, not really. I mean, he it was a drop-in. It was nobody knew he was coming. So.
Oh.
Yeah. But
was
then
he really famous when that happened?
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures.
Oh, absolutely.
Of the studio while he was there, or the video, or
absolutely.
audio, or something.
Oh, this was well after Mork and Mindy, so he was like.
Oh, okay.
And you know who used to hang out in the audience at my shows, and I didn't put her on the air because I didn't think she could be funny. But I liked her. I took her out to lunch because she was starving, and that was Roseanne Barr.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And then she came back and did my show because she wanted to do it because she said, you were really good to me when I was nothing. And I figured now that I'm something, I'd like to return the favor. So, you know, I was very lucky that way. But, you know, almost everybody went through my doors. I mean, I find people remind me that, oh, yeah, who was it? Oh, yeah, I'm doing a show one day here in New York on Sirius XM. And I've got Lewis Black on. And Lewis says, you remember me, don't you?
No.
And I go, what? He said, yeah, I did your show in San Francisco. I said, I don't remember. He said, you probably wouldn't. He said, I wasn't screaming in those days and nobody paid attention to me. You know. But he said, no, I did your show back then. He says, you were very respectful to me and I really appreciated it. You know,
I remember he had Iggy Pop on the second time. After the first time you interviewed him, and when he was just grunting and burping, and
oh, that was in
I don't
New York.
remember any of that.
No, that was in New York.
Yeah, but then he came to San Francisco.
Did he really? I see. These are things I don't remember. And he came on the show,
and, he was like, and you were telling him this story, and he's like, I don't remember any of that. It's like, yeah, you probably didn't.
No, because what happened was I had done him in New York years earlier. And, oh, good, we're going to have Iggy Pop on. And I was like, you know, the youth guru and had on all the really hip music artists and so on. And I'm going to have Iggy Pop on. And Iggy comes in, and I start interviewing him. And every answer to every question was a grunt.
Mm-hmm.
Just a grunt. Like, so, you enjoying New York? I mean, really, I'm not kidding you. And finally, after 45 minutes of this, I finally, it's starting to get really funny because he's not saying anything. He is just simply grunting every answer. And I said to him, pardon me, but do you do anything else but grunt? And he belched.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the interview. Well, thank you very much, Iggy. It's been fun. Wonderful having you here. Yeah. And so I guess...
And then years later, he came into San Francisco and he talked to you, and he was like, I don't remember that.
I don't think he remembered anything from that time in his life.
No.
You know, I think he was pretty well, you know, out there in the weeds.
Alex, did you get a lot of comedians when you came into New York?
Actually, I didn't do a comedian thing here in New York. What happened was here in New York, the thing I pioneered was interviewing rock musicians. Nobody interviewed rock musicians till I started doing it. And I did it with somebody. I can't remember who the first one was that I had on. I think it was Melanie. And somebody asked me if who I knew who was at a record company, would I have Melanie on the show? I said, sure. And I went, gee, got any more rock artists we can have on? And before you knew it, they were starting pouring all these rock people through my show. And then and what would happen is I would call up to a record company and say, hey, do you have any musicians you'd like to have on my show? And they go, nobody wants to interview rock musicians. You know, and so in the beginning, it was a learning process for these people. They didn't think that anybody would want to interview these rock people. So then I started having them on. You know, early on I had Elton John on. You know, a lot of the big rock people from the day. So my thing was having political people on like Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, Dave Dellinger, people like that. Burner. And it was all counterculture stuff, and musicians and rock people. And so and then when I came to San Francisco, the comedy thing developed, and so we did that. But what I did for comedians in San Francisco, I did for music in New York. So it was.
I remember Abby Hoffman wrote a book called "Steal This Book," so I did, and I got caught.
Yeah, well, he was very happy when people stole it. What
what
were you going to say? Matt looked like he was going to say something. Matt?
Oh, I was going to say, what's Elton John like when he's not in the spotlight?
Well, this was so far back that, I mean, this is when his first album.
Yeah, it got all coked up, probably.
No, when his first album was released in America on Dick James' music label. Dick James was a big music guy in England. And I had him on. And I don't remember much about the interview. I mean, a lot of those interviews are all, gone to the wind because I never saved them. I never thought about it, Plus, in those days, when today when you save stuff, it's all on a file. This show tonight for the audio is being recorded on a file. In those days, everything was recorded on tape, and the reels were this big. Okay, and it would take, if I had a reel that big, okay,
you gotta get it.
I had to have, and I had a 3-hour show. I had to have 3 of them that big.
Take you 2 hours to find that spot.
No, and then you had to find a place to store them. So you didn't store them that often, because it was just too much to store. Then cassettes came along. They were a little less wieldy. And then CDs came along, and they were even less wieldy. And then finally now, everything I have, I have on a hard drive here. I have thousands of hours of shows that we've done here on the hard drives. So in those days, it was very hard to keep stuff. So when somebody comes to me and says, I've got the interview you did with Elton John, I held a microphone up to my radio back and blah, blah, blah. I go, and I found some amazing stuff that I did in the early years with Abby Hoffman, Gene Shepard, people like that I thought I had lost forever. But somebody out there, some kid like you, Matt, was sitting there with a microphone to the recorder, or they.
You know what? I still have the interview you did with Louis Farrakhan. I
still have that too. I have that right here. Yeah.
I recorded that. That was a good interview, by the way.
It was a great interview. It was a great interview. The Jew interviews Louis Farrakhan. It was an interesting idea. Yeah. And we got along well. We got along very well. It was a phone thing. But it was very good. And he answered. He not only answered every question that I was asking, okay, but he answered every question. He offered answers to questions that I would have asked. Are you anti-Semitic? No, I'm not. And then he said when he's growing up, he was a violinist, and I can't remember who he said was his favorite violinist, but it was a Jew. And he said, I've never had anything against Jews. So it was a good interview. I should put it up sometime or play it here, just so people can hear it. Yeah. But anyway, hey, listen. I just looked at the clock and. Hey, I want to thank you guys for calling. It's been really nice. Been a nice group of people, and I always enjoy having you here, Matt. You're new, and
thank you.
Of course,
thank you.
And we have actually a bunch of people here who don't normally call the show. We have also William Ferguson, and of course we have our old friend Jeff Stein, and the widescreen that is Alan. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for the hints on what to watch on YouTube. Anyway, everybody, why don't you wave goodbye, and I'll wave goodbye as well. And we'll kind of call it quits for tonight. Let me see here. Oh, there they go. Okay, bye. See you later, everybody. Okay. Now, I'm going to be a little bit out of sync for a little bit here until I get rid of them. What it is, it's for some reason cameras are fighting cameras in this studio, and we can't figure out why. Never have been able to figure it out. Anyway, listen, that's it for tonight. We'll be here again tomorrow night, And we're not next week. We're probably not going to be here except for Friday night and the Monday show, because we have this whole court thing going on, and I have to be there at 9:30 in the morning. And, well, anyway, we'll tell you about that tomorrow night. Anyway, that's it. I'm Alex Bennett. That's all she wrote. Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection. He takes your calls on Skype at GabNet Live. I'll be back here again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, get vaccinated, okay, if you haven't been. And if you don't get vaccinated, wear the goddamn mask. And if not, swab your nose. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.